Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're trying to cut through all the noise in home entertainment tech. Our mission really is to figure out what genuinely gives you that cinema style experience at home. But, and this is key, without all the usual complexity, none of those tech headaches. So, for this deep dive, we're looking closely at a specific setup. We've got a comprehensive review of the Sony BRAVIA KD-75X75WL 4K HDR TV, and it's paired with the HT A3000 soundbar that's a 3.1 channel Dolby Atmos 1. We're basically going to pull out the most important bits, any surprising facts, and the really practical takeaways from the source material just help you get up to speed quickly. Okay, let's unpack this combo. Does it actually live up to that promise, bringing the big screen right into your living room? Let's see. That moment you open a new gadget, you kind of get a feel for it straight away. And with this Sony gear, even the box had something interesting to say about thoughtful design. Yeah, the TV's eco-pack packaging, it really stood out. It's minimalist, sure, but still super protective. And it's not just, less plastic. They've designed it so it's actually easy to unbox, maybe even just one person. Sony even prints setup guides right on the flaps. It's a small thing, maybe, but it says a lot about how they think about the user and being eco-conscious. And then you slide off those panels and bam, there's this huge 75-inch screen. The bezel's so narrow, the picture feels, well, almost borderless. I think I actually said wow.
It's fascinating, isn't it? How design choices like that narrow bezel aren't just for looks. They genuinely add to the immersion, cutting down on distractions at the edge of your vision. And beyond just looking good, you mentioned setup. Wall mounting sounds straightforward. It's VESA compatible, standard stuff. Or if you prefer, those feet they supply seem stable. Pretty low profile, too. And, oh, thank goodness for decent cable management, right? Nothing ruins a clean look like a mess of wires dangling down.
Exactly. A spaghetti monster behind the TV. No thanks.
Those little details,
Yeah.
they really show careful thought went into the whole thing.
Right. So it's out of the box, looking good. You hit the power button and boom, Google TV pops up. And honestly, it just looks clean. Really intuitive. Getting around apps like Netflix, Prime Video, Disney Plus State, totally effortless. And the voice control. Super handy. Built into the remote, uses Google Assistant. It's actually very responsive. I tried, show me sci-fi films, and seconds later, there's this great list ready to go. Plus, the Chromecast integration is seamless. If you're watching something on your phone or tablet, just tap, and it flings right onto the big screen. No fuss.
And that ease of use, that's a massive plus for anyone who just wants to use the tech, right, and not fight with it. It lowers the barrier, makes a premium experience feel accessible, less intimidating with all those settings menus you sometimes get. And talking about easy connections, the soundbar uses Bluetooth and, crucially, HDMI ERRC. That ERRC connection simplifies things a lot. Easy pairing, high-quality audio transfer, just makes the whole audio setup much cleaner from the get-go.
Okay, so it's on, easy to navigate, but now the main event, right? The picture itself. Let's get into what this 4K HDR panel actually does, because this seems to be where the BRAVIA really delivers. The review mentioned colors that are vibrant but still look natural. Skin tones apparently look authentic, really fleshed out, not plasticky. But the really impressive part sounds like the contrast. You get those bright highlights really gleaming, but they don't blow out the details. And crucially, the dark areas, the shadows, they still hold on to detail instead of just becoming black blobs. There was this specific bit watching Planet Earth the Third in UHD. The reviewer said it felt like looking through a window into another world. Every dewdrop, every leaf rustle, startling clarity.
That Planet Earth example really highlights the detail. But I'm curious, how did it handle motion according to the review? Any, jitter or blur in fast scenes? Or did it stay sharp?
Good question. The review didn't mention major issues there. It seemed pretty smooth overall.
Okay, and beyond just native 4K, that brings up upscaling, right? How much does that actually matter for, everyday TV watching? And why is Sony's tech supposedly good at it?
Well, what seems insightful about Sony's processing, like their X-Reality Pro, is that it aims for natural realism. A lot of TVs kind of push colors to look super vivid, maybe artificially so, but Sony seems focused on accuracy, like reproducing what the director intended. And it apparently breathes new life into older stuff too, like 1080p or even 720p content, so your old box sets don't feel quite so dated, even if the room's bright.
Ah, that's important. Because let's face it, not everything we watch is native 4K yet.
Exactly. Good upscaling makes a huge difference to your overall experience.
Okay, visuals sound stunning. But you need the sound to match for that proper cinema feel. Let's talk about the HT A3000 soundbar. The review says it's a definite step up, a marked uplift from typical built-in TV speakers, which, let's be honest, usually isn't hard.
Huh. True. Built-in speakers are often an afterthought. Yeah, so this one's a 3.1 channel setup, and importantly, it has a dedicated center speaker. That's a big deal, isn't it, for making sure dialogue stays clear?
Absolutely huge.
Mm.
That center channel anchors the dialogue right to the screen. Means you can actually hear what people are saying, even when there are explosions or, loud music swelling.
So no more rewinding because you missed a crucial line?
Hopefully not. And then you add Dolby Atmos support. That's not just about making things louder, it's about placing sounds in 3D space. Think about, like, a helicopter flying overhead in a movie. With Atmos, the system tries to make the sound actually feel like it's coming from above you.
Right, object-based audio, they call it.
Exactly. It adds height and direction.
Yeah.
And Sony uses something called their vertical surround engine. It's clever software processing that tries to create that vertical sound dimension, even without actual upward-firing speakers or ceiling speakers. It sort of tricks your ears.
So it creates a more convincing sense of space.
Yeah, more dimensional soundscape. It's trying to make things feel truly enveloping, not just loud things soaring through the sky in a movie or the creepy echoes in a horror game corridor. Makes a difference.
Okay, movies and TV sound covered. What about gaming? How does this setup handle that? The review highlighted low input lag, which is always good news for gamers. That tiny delay between controller and screen action needs to be minimal. And it has ALLM auto low latency mode, so the TV automatically switches to its fastest setting when it detects a console, like a PS5. That means you get the best response times without digging into picture menus yourself.
Smart. Takes the guesswork out.
Yeah, my PS5 sessions felt really fluid, immediate. And HDR gaming, like in Ratchet & Clank, Rift Apart, the visuals really pop. Vibrant. Now, the TV supports 4K at 60 Hz. The review acknowledged some hardcore gamers might want 120 Hz. But it concluded the experience was still more than satisfying for most people, even enthusiasts. What's your take? Is 120 Hz a must-have, or is 60 Hz really okay for most?
That's a great point. Look, for ultra-competitive, pro-level shooter players, maybe 120 Hz gives a slight edge. Every millisecond counts there. But honestly, for the vast majority of games, especially those big cinematic story-driven ones, 4K at 60 Hz is absolutely stunning. It's smooth. It looks fantastic. It feels like a smart compromise, right? Delivers premium visuals for most scenarios without driving the cost way up for a feature many won't fully utilize. Most gamers won't feel held back.
Makes sense. Okay, something else mentioned was BRAVIA CORE. That's Sony's own streaming service. Apparently, it's a unique selling point, kind of a bonus for movie lovers. It offers a selection of films, blockbusters mainly, in very high bitrate 4K. Titles like Spectre, Mad Max, Fury Road were mentioned.
Yeah, and the key there is that high bitrate. They use something called pure stream technology. See, most streaming platforms compress video quite heavily to save bandwidth. Pure Stream aims for a much higher data rate, getting closer to the quality you'd expect from, say, a 4K Blu-ray disc.
Ah, so less compression means more detail.
Exactly. More data means more visual information, finer details, smoother gradients, more nuanced colors. It's Sony's effort to show you the film exactly as the director intended, especially on their own high-quality screens. It's a genuine bump in streaming quality if the title you're on is on there.
A nice perk for cinephiles, then.
Definitely.
Okay, we've covered a lot of the good stuff. Picture, sound, usability, gaming. But let's bring it back down to earth a bit. No tech is absolutely perfect. What were some of the, let's say, nuances or considerations, the trade-offs someone might face that maybe aren't shouted about in the marketing?
Right, and it's important to frame these not necessarily as flaws, but as trade-offs, like you said, things that might matter more depending on your specific ream or preferences. So one point mentioned was brightness. While the TV is bright, it apparently doesn't quite hit the absolute peak levels, the max nits that some top-tier QLED competitors can reach.
Okay, what does that mean in practical terms, like day-to-day viewing?
Well, it means that in a very bright room, maybe one with lots of direct sunlight hitting the screen, reflections could be a bit more noticeable than on a TV that could just blast out incredible brightness to overcome that ambient light.
Ah, okay. So if your living room is basically a sunroom, that's something to keep in mind.
Exactly. Although the review did mention Sony's X-Wide angle feature helps mitigate glare somewhat, which is good. And then on the audio side, while the HT A3000 soundbar is solid on its own for most people, for those who really want that deep, room-shaking rumble, feeling the explosions in your chest, the experience could be boosted further. Sony sells an optional wireless subwoofer separately. Adding that would give you that extra low-end punch and impact.
Gotcha. So the soundbar is good, but the sub takes it to another level for bass fanatics.
Precisely. It's an upgrade path if you find you want more oomph down the line.
Okay, so wrapping this all up then. Based on the deep dive into this review, the takeaway seems to be this Sony BRAVIA KD-75X75WL TV, and the HT A3000 Soundbar combo. It offers a really nice, harmonious blend. You get cutting-edge visuals, clean design, pretty immersive audio. It seems like a really compelling package if you're chasing that cinema feel at home, but you want it to be easy to use, no complex setups, no cable nightmares.
Yeah, designed for enjoyment, not frustration.
Right. Whether you're, binge watching shows, having friends over for gaming, or just a family movie night, it sounds like this setup would definitely impress.
And it leaves us with something interesting to think about, maybe. With home entertainment tech getting so advanced, what does it actually mean to be truly immersed in a story anymore? How much of that feeling comes from the incredible picture detail we just talked about? And how much is driven by the sound? Those subtle audio cues, that sense of space, is worth considering, How those elements, sight and sound, weave together to create that powerful personal experience for you right there in your own home.